Okay, welcome everyone to our February Mountain Mobility Working Group meeting. Today we are going to have different agenda items and things to cover. But before, I thought we could start with a welcome. So some of you already know Felipe, some of you don't. So I thought it would be a good idea to give you a chance to introduce yourself, Felipe, to this group. Felipe is our newest Mobility for All member. So Felipe, if you want to share with us a little bit about what you're going to be doing in your role and maybe a little bit of your background for those of you who don't know you yet.
Sure. Thanks, Jessica. Hi, everyone. I guess I'm starting to see a lot of familiar faces. I have been involved in a lot of meetings in the past, half a week and last week. I see Lisa on there. I'm like, oh, I saw her yesterday. Nick, good to see you. So just wanted to, I guess, to introduce myself, I'll start with my background. I've been working in the nonprofit world for almost, I would say maybe 20 years or more. I worked a lot at Casa La Esperanza Learning Center in the beginning, and have worked with I Have a Dream Foundation through their high school program in Boulder County with a lot of their students there and families most recently. And so I'll be working with Mobility for All as the one of the bilingual outreach coordinators, focusing specifically on youth engagement. Potentially, I'll have to talk more with my team about this, but potentially with high schoolers and engaging them in using more transportation services. And that's a little bit about me. Thanks for having me here, and appreciate you leading the meeting, Jessica.
Yeah, thank you, Felipe. Welcome to the team again. And I'm glad that you're starting to get to know others in the group. And yeah, it's a good one. So we're just going to do a quick fun question to start the meeting, just because I was thinking about it when I was going on my walk. So let's go around and say our name, our agency, and when was the last time you used some sort of public transit for the first time, or what's the most memorable experience using public transit that you can remember? Something that's maybe unique, maybe you were traveling, or maybe, I don't know, you grew up taking that option. So I could start to give you all some time to think. I think one of the I think fun and unique public transit options that I've taken was when I visited Pittsburgh. They have an incline, which I don't know how many other places have inclines, but it was a very old one. It was very squeaky, and it was very cool to see that that system had been in place for many, many years. And it used to be used for people who were doing the mining in the area and were bringing like those goods down to the river and up into the city. That was a fun one that I remember. Um, who would like to go next? Or I can choose.
I can go next if
Yeah.
you want. Yeah. I don't know if this is the most unique, but I think it's the most recent fun one is being in Telluride for Casta. The gondolas are considered to be public transit. They receive FTA funding. And the last night that we were there were the Northern Lights were visible. So we made the trip up and back a few times to like take pictures of the Northern Lights. So it was fun. We'd go like have a glass of wine and then like go up and take pictures, then come back down and have another glass of wine. So it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, great pictures too. I remember that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Angel. Do you want to choose the next person?
Yeah, I will call in Lisa since you're next to me on the squares.
I knew you. I guess for me, the last time I took any kind of transit was in Kentucky for CTAA, and we took the bus ride to Churchill Downs to where they hold the Kentucky Derby, and that was really cool. I'm a horse lover, and to be able to be there, and they even had some races going on, not the big one, but some smaller ones, and really, really enjoyed the ride and the getting to meet everybody and enjoying a lovely dinner and getting to see a place I've never seen before.
Nice. Did you wear like a fun hat?
They had that. They had the contest for the hats, but no, I did not wear one.
Aw. Would have loved to have seen that picture.
Yeah, I'll pick Nick. You're next.
Jessica, this is such a fun question. Ask people's favorite experiences on transit. I will also go, I have many, but the most recent was the Rail Runner Express between Albuquerque and Santa Fe this October. I was visiting Albuquerque for the Balloon Fiesta, which is a beautiful event. Oh, and the Albuquerque has a new BRT system, which is also incredible. But I took the rail from Albuquerque to Santa Fe along with my friend's bike that I was borrowing to ride all around Santa Fe on some beautiful roads and parts of the city. So yeah, the Albuquerque metro area's transit system.
Yeah, I heard it's a very good one to visit and to like experience. So yeah.
And I will call on Reba.
Reba, Director, Netherland Area Seniors. And I can think of two ones, what similar to maybe you, Jessica. It was a stand-up one in Zermatt, Switzerland, where you went up the mountain to go ski. So that was kind of cool. I'd never seen that before. But I did actually do this epic trip with a bus trip from Louisiana to Montana with my 6 months old son at the time, who all I really needed to worry about with him was changing his diaper. But that was definitely a cross-country adventure for us. And I met amazing people along the way and had some interesting experiences, and definitely some layover times at some bus stops in the middle of nowhere, which were interesting as well. But yeah, so that's what my big journey was on the transportation outside of myself.
Thanks, Reba. Do you want to choose the next person?
Well, I think we just have Joni left, right?
And Felipe too.
And who?
Oh, and Felipe, but I see Joni muted.
Oh, I thought you already went. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And hi, for Felipe, I'm Joni Lynch. I work at the Hour Center in Longmont. I'm on this call because we serve Lions up to Allen's Park, just the very
wow.
north part of Boulder County. So hello and welcome. And
Thank you.
let's see, I grew up in the DC area, like inside the Beltway, and spent many many years commuting on the metro, the subway, but not always. And so I'm actually going to comment on something I observed, and that is when I was actually driving, I would see what they call slug lines, and that is because the traffic is so bad, and they had HOV lanes like we do here now, like on I-25 and the left lane and everything. And but you had to have like a minimum of 3 people. And so people would drive by themselves, I guess, or they would take passengers in the morning that they don't even know, because they had centers in these different areas out in the suburbs. And so, so all these cars would just drive up, and everyone was literally just waiting in line with their briefcase. And then they just fill up these cars with strangers. I guess they have it coordinated somehow so that you're kind of going to the same area of the suburbs. So anyhow, I thought that was very creative, and who knows if we'll ever get to that point on the Front Range, now that, since we do have those HOV lanes. All right, and
Thanks, Joni. Thanks for your input and for being here too. Felipe, do you want to go next?
Yeah, awesome. I would say the most recent one. Okay, Felipe with Mobility for All. Most recent one was just taking the light rail to the airport to Denver, and then taking that was in December, and then going to Spain from there and taking the bullet train. Angel was mentioning some wine, so having some cava, some sparkling wine from Spain as you're going whatever 300 miles an hour, and with my family there was super nice. That's probably the most memorable. If I want to push it a bit back to my past, South Korean transportation was incredible when I lived there. Super punctual and everything. But yeah, I would say those things come up.
Yeah. Thank you, Felipe. I told you yesterday you should talk to Nick because you both of you lived in Spain. So
Oh yeah, we'll catch up, Nick.
Mhm. But for now, sadly, we can't keep talking about Spain. We are going to talk about mountain rides, which is the next item in the agenda. So I know that last month, well, yeah, thank you all for sharing. This was very fun. And yeah, I like hearing all the different places that people have been and what comes up when you think about fun memories in public transit. So yeah, moving on to mountain rides. I know last month we talked about the new schedule. We also talked about maybe communications to let people know that now we're moving to 2 days. Excuse me. And I also know that Nick, you were talking working on the mountain rides survey too. So I don't know if there's any updates.
Yes, and I have a draft email to send to our internal team, and then Lisa, soon we want to be in touch with you. As you all know, we were talking about a survey for our mountain rides to better understand ridership, in particular to understand how many people are coming from the town of Netherlands, Nepadak district, especially as we explore the potential of future funding for mountain rides. Last week, Landon, Melissa, and I were in Netherlands for the Nepadak meeting, and we took mountain rides back to Boulder. We had an incredible conversation with the driver on the way back, who shared a lot of information. Her name, I believe it was Lisa or Lori. I'm sorry if I need to double check. She had a really fantastic understanding of ridership. She felt like she and I have a bullet point of some of these key points. Let me quickly pull it up, Jessica. The I'm sorry, I wasn't ready for this right away. Let's see.
Oh, no worries.
She, as I said, she had a great understanding of people's backgrounds. First of all, she believed that most riders were coming from Ward or Net or Rollinsville. She had personally had very few riders enter Netherlands inside of the Nepadak of the library district. Other key takeaways that she shared were that she felt that I know that we just changed the schedule so that it overlapped with services that are being provided in Netherlands. That said, she talked about how many of these riders are doing it to primarily like meet their needs as they're living, subsistence off the grid lifestyles. So non-consecutive days of operation were and would be very valuable for them in the future, particularly since they're using the service mountain rides to get to groceries, water, collect ice, and other resources, so spacing those trips out multiple times of the week would be good for them in the future. She said that word of mouth is one of the primary ways that she has felt riders were learning about the service. She felt that the gender split of ridership was primarily male, with the typical age range of between 30 and 70. She said that most of the riders did not have cell phones or reliable cell service, and that she had heard community express desire for connection beyond the town of Netherlands to Gilpin County and elsewhere. So Angel, Jessica, Lisa, and team, I'm sorry that I didn't send this to you all before sitting down together today. As I said, this is a draft message between Melissa, Landon, and I that I was planning to send to you all soon. But since we're here, I just wanted to go ahead and share that. So I think this also leads us to the question as to whether or not a survey is the most valuable use of our shared resources, or if ongoing conversation with the mountain rides drivers might be the way to go to continue to understand current patterns and current ridership. And then, of course, as we're exploring other funding options, like the GROC application, that speaks to the need for potentially broader community engagement or survey of the town of Netherlands, Rollinsville ward, and beyond. Please let me know if you have any questions. And as I said, Angel, Jessica, this is a drafted email that I'll be sending to you all very soon. And then Lisa, Reba, Felipe, everyone else, I know this information will be spread shortly after that.
Great, good news. Good information. Lisa, do you have any, I don't know if do you have any updates on ridership? I know we're at the end, tomorrow's the last day of the month, so I know that Bob's gonna be sending it out.
Yeah, he sent, let me see, I've got it here, sent for the week. See what I've got here. I know the numbers have been steady, both for both days. I think one day was a little bit less than the other days. But the numbers I've been seeing is like 11, 13, in that range, except for one week, I think it was like 9 and something else, if I remember correctly. So still holding strong.
Yeah.
You know, people are using it. You know, if we can come up with some more money, it would be great, because you could really do it 5 days a week and probably have those kind of numbers, maybe even grow it. So we're always working on what my options are. If I can come up with some more money, then we will definitely let you know. And you know, we can add service here and there to help people out, then we will. I don't know if Frank reached out to you, but we tried to get some funding from Fraser Meadows. And that we did not get that funding. So it was worth a try. We were hoping for about $10,000, 20,000. But they said no. So we'll keep looking as
Yeah.
things come available.
That's great. Did so either Nick or Lisa, have you all heard about the impact of going down to 2 days from 3 days a week?
So as I said, as we heard from the driver,
Yeah.
she felt that many of the riders benefited from, I don't think that there was an issue so much that there was a reduction in service days, so much as putting them together,
Mhm.
because people were benefiting from making those trips, you know, splitting the week up so that they could go get food,
Yeah.
ice, other resources, and not have to make it last for an entire week.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. That's good feedback. Reba, have you heard anything from the seniors about the reduction in service?
Oh, because currently we only have one person that's joining us that takes Via Bus. And they take the time, I don't know how it lays out. I haven't really like sat down to look at the timings, but he actually gets dropped off like at early, like at 11:30. And he'll hang out and have his iPad and drink some tea, you know, because we don't start serving lunch until noon. But he leaves pretty quickly after he eats because he has to catch the bus back. But that's how he's making it work. So I don't know if there is, maybe that's the timing that works for him, but I'm thinking about in general is like is it not working to get people there from noon to 1 but the bus stops? And is it where they have to get there at 11:30? Is that the case? Because I just wasn't aware of that specifically of other times or stops.
I mean, I think that seems right? Because it is before, because there's a midday break. I need to pull up the schedule though. I don't know, Lisa, if you have it more handy than I, but
Because I don't know if that is affecting why other people might not be using it, because they have to hang around like from 11:30 to noon
yeah.
with really nothing going on. I mean, they're just, which is fine. I just don't
Yeah.
know if everybody, you know, wants to work their day like that.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if maybe there's some way to use that time, right? I don't know.
Yeah, we could ask the driver, get her feedback, see what she says, but I haven't heard anything. You know, but we can always make adjustments as
Oh,
needed.
yeah, and I wouldn't even begin to do that because I'm sure that this one client we have, he has he's set with his schedule. He's pretty much here every Wednesday, taking the bus at that time and leaving, but I just was curious because I didn't really look at all the time stops after I was thinking about it, wondering if that is the only option for seniors to get to lunch, to have that time frame be a little different. Do we have, I feel like I printed out, let's see, Mountain Rise stops. But I don't know what days I'm looking at here. One has a Netherland Community Center at 10:50. At 11:15. So he must be getting dropped off at 11:15. And then he eats lunch and it picks up at 12:15. That's what I'm seeing. So that's why he leaves early, because he leaves like to get that 12:15 bus.
So, I mean, so there is that, I mean, it is like the next option is 1:45 at the Netherland Community Center. So 12:15, and then there's the midday break. So maybe we can take a look
Yeah,
at
so
that.
yeah, I wasn't really thinking about it before because I just was assuming that that was his choice, but now that I'm looking at the stops, I actually don't really see any other option for people. They would have to, it wouldn't really span our time like normal.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't, obviously because he has to get on that stop
Mhm.
at 12:15. That's the last stop to get back on the bus, I think. So yeah, it is what it is, but we are getting one person joining us because of the bus that wouldn't be coming.
I'm assuming, so is he coming from
He's coming from Ward.
Ward? Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so he wants to get, because he either gets back at Ward at 1 o'clock or else he gets back at Ward at 3:25. So that is a big difference, right? Like,
Yeah,
I think I would
definitely.
probably hurry up and eat in 15 minutes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which now actually that I'm noticing this for him, maybe we'll get him his meal a little earlier.
Yeah.
But anyway, it doesn't make it where he can stay and participate and socialize, and because it's kind of off time from our lunch. So that's my only feedback on that.
That's good feedback.
Yeah.
We can take a look, and I don't know. Lisa, I know that there's like some other limitations on the schedule, right? So yeah.
And and if you changed it to make it where someone could be here the full time for lunch and socialize, he might not end up coming anymore, so I don't want to pull
Yeah.
the rug on him when he's the one actually using it and making it here and making it work. But I just wanted to bring that out because now that I'm looking at the times, there's no other options. So that would be
You
it.
heard from him, Reba? Like, do you know if he's like okay with the schedule or
I've never asked him what he thinks about it and if it would benefit him that if it changed timing where he could be here for more of the lunch, if that would matter. But I can easily have that conversation with him easily and share his feedback.
Be good to get that.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Because he might be saying, oh, well, this is the only time I can do it, so that's why I'm doing it,
Yeah. Or maybe he's like, this is a good excuse to not have to talk to me. I
Right.
don't know.
There's that too. He's like, oh, I'm out of here.
He's like, I'm sorry, guys, gotta go. Who knows?
And Reba, do you know if any other participants in the lunch also live in Ward?
Oh, that's a good question. Like, is anybody driving from Ward?
Mhm.
Looks like she might have
And
tech issues.
That's okay. We can ask it again. And so Lisa and Angel, Jessica, Felipe, and team, like we can, as I said, I feel like Lori, the driver, and possibly even speaking to Dennis, the other driver, would be fantastic ways to like, record, transcribe the interview. And, just as I said, Lori at least expressed pretty strong understanding of the people that she's driving
Yeah.
on her day of the week.
I think that's a great find, Nick, in terms of really getting a lot of that information directly from the drivers.
Yeah.
And then we can decide, and like I said, this is an email that I just haven't sent yet. If just talking to the drivers is sufficient, if we also want to do a ride along and talk to some people that are using the service that day, it sounds like Reba can talk to some of the people coming to the lunch. We might be able to talk to some of the other people who are coordinating these resources in the town of Netherlands, who also has questions. And I guess this is also just coming back to the point that a survey might not be the most efficient use of resources and time.
I like the idea of maybe doing some ride-alongs and talking to the people, because from the driver, even though she, knows
Yes.
them, is good, it's still one-sided.
Mhm.
I always like to hear both sides, I'm a firm believer in that.
Mhm.
So talking to the riders, and, get their take on it, which could be different from the drivers. I mean,
Yes.
you just don't know. So I like to hear both sides, and then that way, you've got the whole story, not just a portion of it.
Completely, Lisa. I agree. And so, sorry if I spoke over anybody else.
No, it's all right. I was gonna say that would be like a good thing to be able to just ride along and talk to people. We could
Mhm.
pick a day that's like more ridership. I mean, I think what Thursdays might have more ridership, so we can talk to our team. Yeah. Okay. Reba, when you froze, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. We were wondering
Shut down and restart everything, sorry.
yeah. Actually, Nick had asked, do you know how many other people who attend the congregate meal live in Ward? Like they're driving versus taking the bus?
I do know of some that come from Gold Hill,
Okay.
but from Ward specifically, not any that come to lunch on a regular basis driving.
Yeah. Okay.
And what I can say is to speak for some of the people who do come from Ward, from my experience, is they do like to just kind of be on their own and not really out and about. And this bus transportation is getting them to be able to get the stuff that they need to go back to just being in the middle of the woods on their own and not having anyone bother them anymore. So I think your bus driver probably is the best choice on getting the most information because she's developing a relationship with these people. And they're not people that are going to easily talk to just anyone kind of people.
Yeah.
But like for me, I have a relationship with the senior that joins us from the bus. So me opening up the conversation about how the bus is going is an easy thing for me to do. But he knows me, but I don't know if he would easily talk to anyone about stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. I mean, there's some reluctance to like, especially talk to government representatives. I don't know,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to continue to look for funding. I talked to John yesterday and we're still going to try to get on the Boulder County Opioid Abatement Council to see if we can ask them to submit an application. And then Lisa, have you all like decided that you're going to do the GROC grant for sure?
I believe we are. We've all been so busy. But yeah, last we talked that yes, we thought it was worth going after. So we're gonna go ahead and work on that. And then the one gentleman that was, I believe, on this meeting, a meeting or so ago, or some meeting I was on, he had all the connections up there. I forget his name. I've got it written down somewhere.
There's Jonathan Kane. He's
Yes,
the
yeah.
town administrator for Netherland. I'm sure that he would be able to get some letters of support. And then also Annette and Tom, they're the co-chairs of the Peak to Peak. So I'm sure letters of support. Just FYI, it takes us longer to do letters of support for applications. So we'll need at least 2 weeks to be able to get a letter of support. So if you're looking at a deadline, like try to give us 3 weeks so we can
Okay, good to
run
know.
the process. Yeah.
Good to know. Thanks.
Thank you.
And Lisa and team, Melissa's partner works for Boulder County Public Health, who has also expressed interest in participating or supporting this. So, and I imagine they also need a window to provide any letters of support or additional supportive work.
Okay,
But just
perfect.
wanted to restate that Boulder County Public Health is interested in supporting the grant.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And we were going to reach out to another, like one of Sean is Melissa's husband, like reach out to his coworker or whatever to talk about this a little bit more. I know we're gonna have like a meet and greet, but we'll see if maybe we can invite them to one of these after we touch base. Okay.
Okay. Any other items related to mountain rides? So it's like ridership still going. So then the driver has a lot of information, but maybe ride-alongs could also help see the fuller picture. And then still looking for funding to add another day.
Yeah. And if Reba, you could find out where everybody lives. I mean, you know, like I don't know if there's a way to just when you're doing sign in, just to kind of do people add their addresses. I don't think they do, but maybe just find out if more people live in Ward.
Yeah.
You're muted if you.
You mean one, like find out what area they're coming from lunch along the peak to peak or something?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and it doesn't have to be maybe on like one of your like more populated or more attended congregate meal days, maybe do a survey. You know, it doesn't have to be like super formal associated with their name, but maybe we could have just like a poster like, do you live in this area, this area, this area? And then people can just put a sticker on where they live. I don't know.
Okay, that's a great idea. And then if they drive to lunch and carpool, could be more information
Yeah,
to get from them.
yeah.
Um,
So maybe we could do, I mean, if we wanted to do a little survey, we could do a little survey, like just short and then, yeah.
mhm.
If you want, we could come up again. I don't know if you have a speaker, but we could come up to one of the congregate meals and just chat with people to get to know them a little bit better too.
Yeah, I mean, if that works for you guys and you have time for that, but if you're needing the information before you're able to make it up here, I'm happy to, work with that too. So whatever works better.
I think it might be useful for the for whatever grant applications we go after, maybe not GROC as much because that's opioid abatement, but yeah, it might be good information to have.
Sure, I can work on that.
Perfect.
Okay. We're gonna move on to the next agenda item on volunteer driver program. Angel, do you have any updates you want to share?
Yeah, I do. So the town of Nederland has hired the volunteer driver coordinator. We have a kickoff meeting with the consultant, FHU, this Friday, with the town of Nederland and Mobility for All. And so the consultant is going to be like helping develop all of like the policy documents and all of the tracking systems for the program for the town of Nederland. So we'll do that kickoff meeting on Friday. I would suspect that next month we'll have the consultants. Maybe we'll see if it's good timing if they can come to this meeting. But I'm hoping that we can really dig in and make a lot of progress. John Kane thinks that the person that they hired is going to be really great. Like really, they're passionate about this project.
Angel, can you speak for who that is, or are they not announcing it yet?
I don't think they're announcing it yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So and I don't know if I know, I mean, I know a name, but I don't know the person. So
Okay.
yeah, so I think once I think the town will announce it and hope they'll be at the next meeting, I'm hoping. So that'll be good.
Sorry, how big is the volunteer driver program there in Netherlands?
We haven't started it.
Oh,
So
you haven't
just a
started,
little
okay.
background. We did an inclusive, so when we did our transportation master plan in 2018, we had we had some listening sessions in the mountains and we heard some desire for a volunteer driver program. So we got a second round of grants to do an inclusive planning process. And so we had a stakeholder group from people from all over the peak to peak. And then we went out and we did community listening sessions, community conversations, probably did about 15 of them maybe. And so we had a plan that we finalized in 2020, but that was COVID and there was a lot of volunteer fatigue. People just like burnt out from COVID and stepping up to help their neighbors. So Jessica applied for a grant about 2 years ago now, a year and a half ago now. and it was awarded. And so we've been kind of like, we've had some contracting issues with insurance requirements. So we're ready to
How big was the grant, by the way?
It was an $80,000 grant,
Wow.
but it's 50-50 match. So we provide 40,000 and then they provide 40,000. So yeah, it was a good sum to start this program.
Thank you.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions about the volunteer driver program?
Did you say that we're hoping for the volunteer driver coordinator to join our next mountain mobility working group meeting? Okay.
I would think so. I mean, they should be able to attend. I don't know what their schedule is going to be like, but yeah, so we'll be scheduling extra meetings, not just this meeting, but some working meetings to advance the volunteer driver program. And I'm not sure which direction as far as engagement with the peak to peak. I know we don't have Annette or Tom on here today, but it would be good to get them to attend the peak to peak to introduce themselves once they're fully like in the full swing of things.
And I attended, oops, sorry, there's something in my eye. I attended the last Peak to Peak virtual meeting, and I believe they mentioned briefly the volunteer driver program and how that was moving along and the hiring process.
Okay, great. Did they announce the person there?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No. Oh, were you there too, Reba? I think so. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that it's a topic and it's like something that's being considered, and so that was good to hear.
Yeah. And one thing that we do want to, we just attended a joint meeting with North Front Range MPO, Metropolitan Planning Organization, yesterday, and they've done some data standardization for volunteer driver programs. So I want to make sure that we get like their categories of data that they're collecting so that we can maybe like use the same system. And if we ever have like trip exchange or something between Boulder County and Larimer County or something, it'd be good to have the same standards.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other comments on the volunteer driver program? No, it's exciting. It's moving along and excited for that first kickoff meeting. Okay. We are going to move on to the business Ecopass update. Nick, is there any updates that you want to share with us about the program?
Yes, these are some numbers that we shared at NEPADAC last week. There have been 49 businesses that have signed up to participate in Ecopass. 144 of those, 144 employees from the Town of Nederland businesses are signed up outside of Eldora, which has 583 employees signed up for the Ecopass program, which is a great number. That said, there are a few pinch points that we want to continue working through with the town. One of those being the number, how and when employees activate their passes even after they are issued. 357 of those 583 Eldora employees have not yet activated their passes, which we want to make happen. So Melissa, the town, and our team are working on ways to send more regular pushes to those employees to encourage them to activate their pass and take advantage of this great benefit. Similarly, only 40 Eldora town only 40 employees for other businesses in town have activated their passes out of that 144. So once again, one of the points that we want to address is that ongoing push and recommendation for our employees to activate their pass and take advantage of it. We also want to make sure that businesses, those 49 businesses that initially indicated interest in participating in the program, submit their employee spreadsheet to the town so that they can process the employees, put them in the portal, and send that Ecopass their way. So once again, 2 pinch points from on the town and business communication side to make sure that they're submitting encouraging businesses to submit that employee spreadsheet. And on the other end, making sure that employees activate their passes once they have been issued. We have been in communication with the town to make this process more efficient and streamlined. And we have been talking about ways to continue advocating for businesses to participate in the program and take advantage of this great benefit. Last week, Melissa, Liv, and I were at the Town Talk in Netherlands, at Kathmandu. We talked about the program and spoke with the executive director of the Downtown Development Authority. We've been invited to come speak about the Business Ecopass program at their April meeting. So we'll continue to spread the word and, as I said, work through some of these kinks to make this a smooth process for the town and for local businesses.
Great.
Yes,
Yeah.
like Reba, we want to make sure that you get your pass. And
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I could be the example here, because it's
Mhm.
actually not as, I got all of this info from the town and what to do, and I downloaded the app and have my barcode thing, and I'm ready for, and then
Mhm.
I'm like, do I have my pass? I don't know, like, I
Yeah.
haven't been communicated with.
So we just need to make sure that the town is sending confirmation emails, like your Ecopass is activated.
And what would that, so on the RTD app that they tell you to get, I have like this barcode thing and it says my ride barcode, is that what it'll connect to?
And so Reba, underneath yours, does it have a green barcode? Underneath the barcode, is there a green bar?
No, it just says buy tickets and ticket wallet
Okay.
account. No,
And
there's
and did
no,
you and
you can see it. There's nothing underneath the barcode.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah.
Um I'm sorry for the difficulties and the confusion in communication. And as I said, we want to help get this resolved for you ASAP and make sure that it's not happening to other people too. Did you in that email that I sent to you with did you submit an Excel sheet or that Google Sheet template directly to the town?
I don't, I thought I did I just send it to you?
Yeah,
Did
the
you ask
town-
me?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I did whatever the email told me to do. As much as I try to follow the directions properly, but I feel like there's been so many components of this
Mhm.
that I'm confused at where I'm at now.
And I agree, and this is some
Yeah.
of the issues that we want to work through. As for you specifically, even if you're able to stay on this call, and if I'm allowed to do that for 5 minutes after this, I'm happy to sit with you and make this happen or tell you what to do so that we can get this to you ASAP. And then learn from your example and help make
Yeah,
sure
to
this
help
doesn't
other
happen to other
people,
people.
because it seems like the beginning, it all seemed to be kind of smooth. I'm gonna see if I can find this email. And move along, but then once I did the final step,
Mhm.
I didn't know if I had an Ecopass or not.
Yeah, and Reba, so if you can stay on this call, Reba, if that's okay with Jessica and
Yeah.
Angel, I will be happy to work with you. And also, if you can forward me that message that you received from the town, that would help me understand
What
a
they
little bit
gave
about what's
me.
happening.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, I could do that. Thank you.
It looks like you've done all your steps, to be honest. It's just they need to make sure that they that they issue the Ecopass
Mhm.
through their portal. So I don't know, Nick, if you have access through Landon's email or whatever to the portal,
I
but
have access to the master spreadsheet that we're keeping in the Google Drive, and I'm not seeing Reba there. And I think that's one of the issues that we're working through with the town is the organization of information on their end.
I
Um,
see. Yeah, because it's the second time I entered into a spreadsheet, but
Okay.
maybe it's not going to the right place. Yeah, I don't need to take too much time with it for me personally, but more just understanding the
Yeah.
process. So if people ask me, I can be like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
what's going
And
on?
we
Yeah,
we don't want this. We want people to take advantage of this, and we don't want them running into this issue. So
yeah.
yeah, Reba, if you can once again forward me that message you received from the town, and then happy to stay on the call with you for 5 minutes, and we'll get this done.
Okay, great. Thank you. And real quick, Jessica, I have not forgotten about my daughter taking pictures of herself riding the RTD with her friends. She got the flu this month, so she was out for
Aw.
like 2 weeks almost. So, but I will follow up on that one for you.
Yeah, let her get better, and thank you
Yeah.
for your help with that. Mhm.
we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jessica, one thing, I missed a number, Nick. How many employees at El Eldora have activated their pass?
Yes. So 357 have not activated. Let me go back to the spreadsheet and oops, I closed it, and pulled the total number for you. I believe it's 220-ish. So once again, a huge number of employees that have signed up, but we want to continue encouraging those who have not completed the process to activate. But that also might speak to this communication.
Mhm.
I want to learn more about what the challenge that Reba's run into. 220 employees at Eldora have activated Angel.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
So make sure for the notes that I have it.
Mhm.
So the town is compiling everyone's emails who are going to be then added to the RTD portal, and that's where the situation is getting.
Yeah, I think that I have no access to the town's emails. I'm sure that they're receiving a lot of messages beyond just Ecopass, so keeping them in this, and we've communicated the need to keep them organized and in the same Google folder that we're using for now. So Landon, Melissa, and I have been in communication with the town so far. We haven't brought it up to Jonathan or others yet, but depending on what we continue to find and how this moves along, we may need to do that.
Yeah.
Well, and with the discussion we had with Jonathan about the volunteer driver position, coordinator position, and potential funding, there may be a different approach too.
Yeah, Angel and Jessica and team, let's make sure we talk about that. Please.
Sounds good.
And it is a process, in itself.
Mhm.
We know that there was a transition, and now being mobile and having all those verification steps and adding information to the portal, and sometimes even creating emails. It is definitely a multi-step process. Yeah, thanks for doing that, and for the work on getting people their Ecopasses. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that there's several hundreds that already have it.
Yeah, and hopefully continue to grow. So
Yeah. Okay. I believe those are all the items that we have in the agenda. We just can talk about other transportation needs or miscellaneous items. Somebody wants to share?
I don't think we have anything else. I was just thinking, Lisa, about family and friends, and maybe next time we can talk about like the numbers and if the presentation we did like had any impact on the numbers. I'm assuming probably not, but
It hasn't. We have about 10 trips per month that are done, and I think that's with like 1 or 2 people up in Ned, and that's it. No, we haven't had any new people.
okay. Yeah, and I know we mentioned it at the congregate meal, Reba, but maybe we can help people sign up like at one of the congregate meals. If we plan it far enough in advance, we can say next time we're going to help you sign up for the family and friends mileage reimbursement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost feel like our crew that we get at congregate meals don't want to deal with the headache of it. They're just like, I'm just gonna give my friend a ride. You know what I mean? But that's honestly because I've had all that paperwork out since you guys visited. And of all of the paperwork, no one has taken any of the printouts of the family and friends stuff. Or interested in it in any way. And when they ask me about it and I tell them, they were like, oh, that sounds like a pain.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, I don't know, but that's what they can offer to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can talk next time, Lisa, when we talk about the volunteer driver program. Maybe we can talk about the amount that you're reimbursing and if we could help subsidize it or something.
Yeah.
And then
we're
with
talking about.
sorry, Lisa, with that, I mean, is the volunteer drivership program going to impact the family and friends perspective? Because it's, you don't like, I don't know, is that gonna?
Yeah, we don't have a lot of people that use the Family and Friends program. It's for rides that we cannot provide on times or days or areas we don't go, or that the trip isn't available. And so, for we don't have a lot of people use it. And I get it that it is cumbersome to, you know, the process and filling out the form, but we gotta have a way to check our balances and make sure things, you know, are what they say.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like I said, we stay pretty steady at 10 rides with Ned. But most of it is one person and sometimes two, and that's it. And it's been that way. It's been that way all last year and this year so far.
Yeah, and I guess it makes sense if it's someone who needs regular rides and it's like constant that a person can get paid back and reimbursed. But yeah, there might not be as many people needing that consistency, possibly, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think with things like this and also like Medicaid trips, once people figure it out and have a system, like they
Yeah.
feel comfortable doing it. But it's like establishing that system just seems overwhelming. So,
Right.
yeah. Sorry, Nick, I saw your hands up.
That's okay. Thank you all. I just wanted to quickly promote the participation in Boulder County's Vision Zero Action Plan. This is something that we were talking about in Netherlands Town Talk at Kathmandu last week. As you all know, Boulder County has a goal to have zero fatal and serious injuries on our roadways. Everybody deserves to arrive alive, you know, when they're traveling on our roads. So Boulder County is working on roadways in unincorporated county in cooperation with the towns of, or city of Lafayette and the town of Superior to come up with the Vision Zero action plan that identifies, you know, some of the most dangerous parts of our road, some of the most dangerous patterns, and works to identify solutions, systematic solutions to address these and change them. I'm going to drop a link in the chat that has a YouTube video you can watch about some of the progress so far, as well as some of the proposed solutions for unincorporated Boulder County and the roadways in the mountains. The video covers safety analysis findings, a preview of top safety countermeasures, measures being proposed, and an overview of how these recommendations will be prioritized. In addition to watching the video, there is a survey that you and others who are interested in your community can take to provide feedback to Liv and the Vision Zero team about how these safety solutions, to help prioritize those safety solutions. So Lisa, Reba, Joni, please share that with others in your community. I believe, according to the website, that the deadline for the Boulder County survey is March 2nd, so that's coming up soon. Lisa, in addition to the unincorporated Boulder County survey, I believe that the Lafayette, City of Lafayette survey just opened as well. So any drivers or folks living, visiting in these communities, please help spread the word. That's all, and I can't lower my hand. There you go.
Thanks, Nick.
Good survey. And this survey is also available in Spanish. So we, Livia and I came to present the Vision Zero Action Plan and surveys to the ambassadors last week. So yeah. We have a post too on social media if you want to share that for the surveys. Cool.